Guys, I've never seen this. Someone mid-conversation changed their avatar into a slightly different version. So that's fun. That's how people have fun these days. I can't understand. But the way we're gonna have fun is we're gonna figure out, first of all, is standard more fun or wild? Because wild seems more balanced, but I'm not gonna play a constructed deck from other players. I will just make my own shit. So I've never really got into wild. Technically, it's just a very big experiment for me, but we'll see. Because you get all these cards, maybe it's gonna be fun if you get to pick whichever ones you like. Now, standard has very little amount of cards right now, because it's the first expansion of the year. But we're gonna have an expansion in like 3 days. Until then, I can't really make extravagant videos, because I still will need to warm up and figure out exactly what cards from the expansion also important. But, you know, first thing we can do is figure out which game mode to play, then what cards to play in general, and then we can squeeze in the newer cards if they're useful. As you can see, I already have like a base going on. Sunwell is just generally a cool card. Anything that generates cards is also very good. And Due Process comes with a package of Renathal, usually, because you don't want to run out of cards first. The problem is there's so much weird shit in Wild. Like, I don't want to abuse that stuff because it's kind of boring. Like, something like Jade Idol is like the most boring, stupid card ever that I just don't care that much about. Even though you would have to put it in a deck, at least one. And it's like, why do I don't want to. And it's not about winning, clearly. Like, we're not trying to win here. We're not trying to play the best deck or the best class. The most important thing is to figure out how to squeeze maximum interactions on the board, how to not get toasted by the opponent so we counter most of the strategies that are abusive. Once we figure all of this out, once we round it out to the max, we can have fun. But I don't know if I have enough time for that. I can only like build a somewhat rounded version of a deck and figure out if there's some special fun cards that I don't usually play. It's very difficult to do that, even though, like, even in Wild, like, you have plenty of things to explore. But it feels like I've spent so much time with Druid. I've explored everything. Kind of weird. Now, is Druid the most fun class? We'll never know. But it does have the dragon. And I can't live without it. Alright? This is it. This is my jam. Getting nature spells is pretty complicated, but I mean, completely worth it, I would say. Completely worth trying. And there's these discovery options. Seems legit, right? Now, resizing pouch not in relevance anymore, because it's actually not a fun card. You're not gonna really know what you're discovering or going after, or you're gonna get a lot of random cards. So we'll try to avoid discover effects most of the time, unless they're just like cheap nature spells. But even that's like questionably not fun if you don't get the useful cards. See, like, somehow, like, you want to avoid the discover effects, or just randomness in general that has nothing to do with getting decent cards or getting some kind of cool advantage. Some randomness is fine, but like, we'll figure it out. It's very complicated to say right now. We have to draw a clean slate and start from scratch. And then have the main event, which is like supposed to be pretty ridiculous. Alright, there's a whole story of going from 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 every single time. There's an event, but never have I hit 50,000. It's a crazy milestone to think about. What am I talking about? This little number, the influence. I will talk more about it when I talk history of hitting these milestones in the actual main event. I'll just refresh everything for everyone who just jumps on board for that one video. In case it blows up, you never know with YouTube, like, what people actually want to see and how they will treat your video. You know, the first few viewers will decide the fate of the video, even though everyone acts like NPCs, so everyone acts the same fucking way. Most of the time. This is why algorithms work. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Alright, so besides card draw and my favorite card that's supposed to do things over and over again, because like that's effective throughout the whole game. You just have to play it successfully. Like, that's obviously interactive. But what else is obviously interactive in Druids? It feels so bad because, like, they just printed the worst cards I've ever seen. And just thinking about it is like, I can't beat that shit anymore. I cannot beat star power anymore. What the fuck is that? It just clears the board for free. But it doesn't turn a hunter into the most abusive class. It's just standard feeling. So, do I actually escape by playing wilds? Will I get better experience? See, the point of playing wild is just the variety of the opponents is much greater, but also the variety of abuse doesn't make it, you know, more appealing to experience. I found that Raid Negotiator is pretty good. Right's Fury is just pretty decent. You just lock the board. Tambourine is kind of like a given, but it's not easy to activate. So I'm having trouble understanding. And now that I'm building a deck, it's like, this is kind of boring. I have played Druid for so long, like, it's gonna be so mediocre no matter how I build a deck, right? It's kind of weird. I don't like that feeling, bro. Also, I clearly don't have all the cards. Like, there's probably some kind of quest I could run in the deck to make things more interesting. Because some quests like have passive abilities, just like the dragon. But it's weird. Most of the passive abilities actually restrict your deck at the same time, which is not good game design at all. I think it's fun to play Doomkin just because I hate my opponent doing things against me. So that seems pretty decent. I think Skill of Onyxia makes sense. I do need board clears. There's that stupid... Oh. Maybe... One second. Only Shaman has the stupid board... Yeah. The poison... Murloc board clear. So I don't have to worry about it. But there's a lot of like porklers is just like super cheap and ridiculous. And that's annoying. A good thing to do, at least just to check out what's being played in Wild. Just to get an idea of the quality of the decks. What the fuck? This is some weird win rate and there's no names. They don't care about names anymore. Wild is just a messy thing. This looks like, you know, a very generic aggro deck. Very, very generic. What the fuck does that mean? Ashen Elemental is being played. What the fuck do you mean? What is the deck with decent amount of players playing it? 2000 seems about another aggro crapper. And then you have Lost in the Park. Yeah. This seems really bizarre to me. How's that supposed to work? I really don't feel like this is that powerful. What? Even the quest is like mediocre in that sense. If you don't bounce it around. What the fuck is the point of Druid, man? They don't even care then. Ah, I didn't learn anything. That's so stupid. I know Fanboy is really ridiculously useful and Groovy Cat is somewhat important. Getting a bunch of armor should be fairly useful. We can just run the whole thing of hero power. But like it's a weird one. We're wasting a lot of card draw if we play this. If we play 1-drops in general. It's kind of weird, right? But at the same time, I mean, it seems fair. It makes at least the hero power more useful, which does seem like more fun thing to do. I guess I will do the hero as well. Just anything that upgrades the hero power, my passive abilities, seems very necessary. Pretty sure the quest is for generating armor, and then you play those 8 mana cards for free. The armor synergy. And that, there's a lot of just bullshit cheating going on. For me, my favorite card is actually a Rake. It gets rid of a lot of annoying stuff from the early game. And you can do more things with that if you buff your hero power. I'm like scared that this looks just like a generic standard deck with slightly different cards. Like, I'm not gonna have a different experience from my end. It's like, what's the point? But the point is to avoid all the fucking hunters out there. The most fun thing would be in standard is to just hunt down hunters. How fucking ironic, isn't it? But maybe not. Maybe skipping hunters is just as good. Because we're not gonna focus on climbing the ladder. We're like speedrunning as fast as we can to try and have fun. It's a whole different different beast to try and tame. I'm really like confused, like I never played this card, I try to stay away from it. But it is a snowball. And I'm like confused that I'm so scared of it. It just dies technically without a proper effect. You do have to float mana and all that shit. But if it survives, it will always be a threat, right? Well, no. Because you still have to spend mana on it. In a way. Floating mana is not useful. It's like last season. Show up a little bit in the wrong period in time, I would say. All the passive effects we have to like take in consideration. See, that's the problem with Hearthstone right now. You can't really find the cards. Like if I want a passive effect where like something similar happens every single turn, I don't know how to search for that. There's no keyword for that. After you summon, like, it would be pretty useful if I can just find these cards that do that. Instead, I have to manually search. These can be hidden. They don't have to be in the open. We kind of understand that this is a passive, ongoing effect. But the way to search for these cards is impossible. It's not given for us. And with the ever-increasing collection, Wild just seems like trash pile at this point. We had fun, we fucked with these cards, and now they're just, you know, prostitutes for someone else who lost their minds and somehow want to play Wilds. What's wrong with you? I haven't tested how important the curve is for the deck. That's actually quite an interesting experiment. Just mess up the curve entirely or build a very, very precise curve. And I want to see like the difference. Can I just play my most favorite cards and not worry about a thing? Or do I actually have to confine myself to the most straightforward 1, 2, 3, 4 ideology in order not to lose, that is. I could have like a bunch of 1-drops that would slow down the game or some bullshit like that and not worry about the curve at all. I don't know what substitutes as a nature spell. How are bees are not nature? Like, I don't know, man. Blessing. Here you summon a bunch of turtles, but bees are not nature spell, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Because I have no idea what we're doing here. How we're deciding that. Mark of Nature seems like a very generic card, but I mean, there's these cards that just give attack. They don't belong anywhere. But there's a lot of them, like, kind of interesting. Flower Child seems legit. Sphere of Sapiens is pretty cool. Constant passive ability. Now, for Druid it sucks. I have to use my hero power often enough. And then we have like the generic bullshit of Sir Finley, reshuffling the hands. It's kind of too generic. Most of the cards I'm playing, like, I just want to focus on standard somehow, and there's some spicy things in there, but it's just a waste of time to go through all this trash. I genuinely dislike this discomfort. Now, my first guess is like, I don't actually want to build a generic deck. A generic tempo deck. I want to spice it up, and I probably want to go to a higher curve than lower curve. But what makes things not fun is not to be able to come back on the board. If I cannot do that, then we're just screwed. So that's another thing I have to balance. Or find a way to shut down the board, like with a Doomsayer or something. I've played so many strategies already, and all of them still exist on standard right now. I'm very comfortable. Like, I can use this to shut down most of the stuff. This is a better Doomsayer now. Or you can play both if you're desperate. I'm like surprised how much I don't like Wild. How it's not exciting at all. Because it doesn't give me anything new. I can get back my Malverick. And that's about it. It's like, cool. Obviously, ETC is supposed to be in every single deck that you build. I don't care what type of deck you're building. It just has to be there. The well-built ETC, I'll have some kind of passive ability, some kind of counter ability that I could also hold in my hand. And then an immediate 5th drop that I can play. That will be satisfying. No, not... I mean that's pretty ridiculous card. If we ever building something like this, like ETC will have ETC. It's just the default standard thing to have. I'm not gonna lie. Technically, Magatha allows for a completely different deck that I want to build. Because I like Topiar. But I could just like have Discover, Spell, Minions, and then Magatha myself. The problem with that is, how am I gonna get Borklers? Enchanter is like very good with Borklers. I still will have to run Rake, so I can lose that, but it's just a one mana spell to lose. Magatha seems cool. Generally. This is pretty good. This is a very cool passive ability, so let's switch Panther. Even though Panther is also a passive ability, but I don't know. It does seem like I would get more juice out of this thing. Alright. So, also, you know, variety could spice things up. Variety, some synergy. I don't have to have 2 copies of everything. We can split certain cards based on their categories. So if I have the 7 mana Borkler, I could have different kinds of Borklers. Runic Carvings is a very similar card, but it just summons 4. So I'm not sure if that's relevant as filling the board is. I'm surprised that this is not being played. This... Come on, man. Come on, that's the most fun thing, is to try and get the effect. I can't do it with this deck, though. I don't run spells. I don't even discover spells that easily. But I would probably run a card like this. It seems pretty cool. Like, it actually seems even good. How is this bad? Damn, I'm scared. I have a... Did I just recently got that legendary? That's kind of interesting. Obviously, the greatest thing about this whole experience is that I can, well, give the deck to everyone else and they can have fun with it as well. We'll see how that goes. If people like it again, I will be very pleased. I like Crypt Lord is quite fascinating card. It protects you from a lot of crap. Talking about protection, there's the most notorious card that I actually don't have. You know what I'm talking about, spreading ass. I just said it, but it is a thing. It's a spreading ass. I mean, it is just a simple thing. And I'm just a simple farmer. Everyone plays this card. It's just notorious for being annoying. And, gotta grab them. Because, as annoying as it is, it just kind of promotes tempo plays. I'm all for it, and it's kind of like a reverse Borgler. Very fancy. Maybe I didn't have to craft both of them, but that's the brain damage that I have sometimes. I want to have them all. What happens? Don't tell me that I did a good thing by crafting 2 of these. Don't encourage the bad feeling that I have. Another thing I forgot to do is, like, absolutely relevant to ramp. Ramp with this thing. This thing over here as well seems pretty decent idea. I'll just do 1 of this and 2 of these because they're pretty cool. I think Lost X is pretty brutal card, where it's so complicated to play it that I like it. Just like it as it is. I don't know if I can squeeze it in though. What am I supposed to do with it? And it's still a standard card, by all means. Like, we're not inventing anything new here. It's so annoying. Posic would be playable to annoy the opponent. It's so fucking weird. Even the deck that's being recommended, I think you could beat that shit, that Druid nonsense, with some random standard deck. It's just a very, very aggro, vomiting hand type of deal. So weird. I feel like Candle Raiser is actually better than even like most options. Or most buffs. Even though it doesn't look like it, right? But it's still +2 health. And you can trade favorably. Potentially. Like, there's a lot of applications to gaining Divine Shields in massive form like that. What else do we have? You know what? Every deck needs a jailer. If you want to have fun in a Hearthstone, you gotta shut down the game at some point. So your opponent got nothing on you. And as long as you have lifesteal minion, that is actually a possibility. But Jailer seems like it doesn't belong anywhere else but here. Sylvanas can show up in a proper manner. Actually, Thorson is like the most legit creature of all time to have in every deck. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see how cool wild format is. Wait, I can discover a dragon? Battle Master have been destroying a lot of things, but there's something even more Battle Master than Battle Master, and I'm just realizing I have one of these. And I talked about them, and they're like, this is the oldest card in the book. Can you guess what it is? Well, let's type in Wind Fury. And you'll... I said Wild Fury, boys. And you should still understand what I mean. What's wrong with you, bro? What the... No! Why? I don't have this? And Handsome Mechano? Isn't this like the coolest card ever? But technically, this thing is passive ability. And just kind of uses the creatures off the board. I wonder what's more powerful, to be honest. Because I don't want to craft anything. Especially for wilds, when I'm just dumping a bunch of resources. I'm definitely not gonna craft an epic. Goddamn, Embiggen is pretty cool. I also forgot to use aquatic form. I don't know if aquatic form is that fun, to be honest, to deal with. It's just like, it sits in your hand and you have to constantly worry about it. Biology projects could be quite fascinating. But I do feel like Embiggen is like ridiculously relevant. In fact, I'm surprised it's not being played in one of these stupid Druid decks. Because it just applies so flawlessly, right? I can't play this stuff because like I can't craft the main thing, which is Lost in the Park. But technically I can buy this. I can buy the quest. And that's quite something. Wait, is this Twist? Am I fucking being fooled? No, Twist is over here. I was scared for a moment. Jeez. I can naturalize things as well. That seems like legit thing to do. How do I Embiggen though? Maybe Free Spirit has to go. Maybe getting armor is not that big of a deal. Because Embiggen is really cool. In late game, it's so relevant to make things bigger in your deck. Funny thing is, like, it's also a little bit irrelevant, but it's a nature spell. It's irrelevant because now we have in standard the stupid 7-drop that just doubles stats. And technically, if you double stats, you just win the game. This card is underappreciated how ridiculous it is. Simply because it doesn't do anything immediately. But if I double draw my cards, then it kind of does things immediately. Kind of. Next turn at least. Alright, so that should be it. Again, we're not trying to be extravagant and play Major Domo in here to destroy ourselves. Worm would be quite interesting, but it doesn't have Taunted kind of protect me in any way when I play it. I don't know. Everything else is just weird. This is a passive ability, by the way. But I don't know how weird Wild is. So let's find that out. Let's begin. It took me just so long to get used to building the deck. And I just don't feel like we have done anything special here. Besides maybe in Biggin, which is still not special. I'm disappointed. I don't think it's gonna be better. Or crazy experience. But again, like, I don't want to play against hunters. And that's like that one thing I don't want to do. If I have a wild deck, then fucking switch to wild. Excuse me? You can switch to wild manually, actually. Oh, thank you. That's pretty useful. I had to click 2 extra buttons, didn't I? Imagine being a programmer and you're like, hey, you can't play standard decks. Or, I mean, wild decks. Or whatever this thing is. But hey, just click 2 buttons, my friend. I will show you what to do. You know? I will show you what the fuck do you mean you will show me what to... Just do it for me, you fucking fool. Maybe the joke about wiping my ass with aliens is not a bad idea. Because why show how to wipe my ass? Why show me how to do... What kind of toilet paper to buy? Just fucking do it for me. You can do magic like that. If you're an asshole. Just clean it by yourself. I don't know. Let's go. Let's see what we can find here. That's always fun. Alright, let the adventure begin. I will start chilling around. I know I'm not sure why you're hanging out in this episode, but it is a story to tell. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. This stuff. Alright, so evaluation, let's bring that up. Rules. Something like that. To pay attention. Now, again, if there's anything abusive, we always have to see if we can counter it somehow. We have to notice the abusive things. Also, as we have learned, we keep the key cards. This is a key card to keep in hand.
I see you brought guests.
And so I have +5 health, boys. I do believe in Renathal. I don't feel like it's a terrible thing to have it. But let's see how long it will take for me to just plow through the noobs into some decent territory here until I'm getting abused. But the question is, like, how people abuse the game in wild is the question. I don't know why I talk like that, by the way. I say something, then I say the other thing, and then I say something. You know, that I said before. And somehow it's still applicable and my brain doesn't even say it's wrong. It says that it's applicable, you know? You know what I mean? Again, now I'm just hoping that at some point playing this thing, I will get to a certain level where people not just gonna waste my time. I can't, oh my god, this is so ridiculous. One thing that is relevant is maybe let's not play Hearthstone and play Elder Scrolls Legends instead, and that's the thing that I cannot do. Unless there's no way I can do it though. That's the fun part. It's not really fun to see the animation every time, and I will have to concede a bunch of times. The Renethal animation is the least fun part of the fucking Renethal interaction in general. Well, that sucks. Why is it there? I don't want to wait for you, my friends. What's up with these wild players? They don't care about the game at all. They just queued in to, like, stare at a wall or whatever. I just remember... I just remember the most fun card that just generates infinite amount of garbage. You need that. You need all of that in your mouth. It is wild though, so fire spells might not be as satisfying as I would hope. What the f... How is he playing this into that? And it still had 7 minions? What the fuck are we talking about? Oh, it's the discard spell. Oh, Okay, Malverick, please. You gotta save my ass right now. We're gonna have a flood of macaroonies. Ugh. That's another thing that we have to test. Is like, how many of these people are trying to just vomit their hands for the effects? Just crush you with a hand. I literally can't play against Hunter or Warrior in Standard. Because they're just so abusive, they just vomit their hand. And crush you with that shit. Everything else is sort of manageable. Funny enough, like when Raran did the Nuzlocke thing, Warlock was somehow the most ridiculous class. Out of all of them, like, what? It's just fucking stupid, bro. Just dumb. I can do something with Malverick, to be honest. It's not the end of the world. But he just vomited his hand. And it's like, I don't care. What is that? That's wild, I think. I think that's just natural wild experience. You vomit your hand. Whichever hand is vomitier wins, you know? Nastier hand wins. It's fucking garbage, bro. My god. Well, we just realized that wild sucks balls. So I will never ever touch these nasty balls again, I guess. I mean, that's always fun. What? Basically, I need to run maximum amount of silence in my deck. Like, this is such a level of abuse that I can't fucking handle. Just maximum silence. Maybe even weapon removals, but that's beyond insanity to do that. Like, what the fuck are we looking at right now? We just got fucked in the ass. Successfully. From 35 health as well. Yeah, and big and not very useful at the moment. Not sure what's going on with that one.
My hand is full.
Well, that's always fun. Maybe I just skip all the aggro decks or some bullshit like that, but like, it's nonsense. I'm forced to play an aggro deck myself. This is so weird. And it will take so long for me to get a good deck as well. I really want Biology Project. It seems legit. What else can we do? So disgusting. It's not a spell. It doesn't, like, give you a spell or anything specific, and it's such a stupid discover effect because of that. What if we just run all silence deck? Because fuck my opponent, am I right? Like, they don't deserve to do anything with anything weird on the board. But again, like, mostly I just need mass silence and that's it. But it's like, it's so bizarre. Like, you have mass silence, and then you have single silence, and there's nothing in between. Silence was never, like, explored as a concept, even though actually it might be the most fun thing in the fucking game to not get abused by a bunch of fucking divine shields and stupid mech bullshit. My god, bro. What were they thinking? This is still at least in a fucking standard. And this is as well. So it's like, we have all the... Again, why? Why should I care about wilds? It's just like they're gonna vomit their hand a little bit faster. Like, wow, that's so fucking... That's so fucking wild. Oh my god. I'm so excited about the speed of their vomit. Fuck this shit, man. This is so bad that I literally... My day is ruined. Like, Hearthstone is gonna lose reputation after this one. And that's a fucking big deal. But hey, that's fair with me. It takes a little bit longer for them to climb to 50,000 if they lose reputation just like that. I mean, probably the most fun we can have is just play arena or whatever. Bullshit like that. So basically, I still am in the chicken rank, so I'm, like, very impressed how stupid it is. What the fuck is... I can't, like, if you have been building a card game for 7 years, you would know something about building card games, right? Like, you would know something. Because it doesn't look like something is happening. You can play standard and everything else is just like a wasteland, like a fucking desert. Well, desert, but... Just a bunch of nothing. I think that's a key card. Naturalize. I don't know if I am desperate. Let's hope not. If they buffed Nostormu to actually rope your opponent every single time, holy fucking moly, dude. Yes, it could be a special condition of how you have to build your deck. Well, just allow me to rope my opponent. And god damn it, the game would be so much better as well. I don't... Dragon doesn't fit anymore. It's so fucking dumb when that happens. I can technically, like, harvest my deck to find nature spells eventually. But I say that with a lot of pain in my chest, man. Isn't it fun? Are we having fun, guys? Are we really interacting with things right now? Probably when Kingsbane is played, you just concede. So that's pretty interesting. Like, could just... Wow. Wow. I mean, I don't know what kind of brain damage you can get from Hearthstone, but I don't think you can recover. Like, no doctor is gonna help you with that. You just gone. Again, I didn't move. My chicken rank just remains a fucking chicken rank. The pain and suffering. You know, at least I'll be able to, like... I'm probably gonna pick, like, the most abusive classes that I don't want to play against. Classes that I can't interact with at all. I'll just concede to. I can probably, like, ban 3 classes for myself. We will play standard. This is the most idiotic thing I've experienced so far. We're not playing this shit. It's a waste of my time. I'll try not to trigger secrets, just play on my side of the board right now. Whatever that fucking means. Normally when you play due process, it actually makes the game way worse. Because your opponent just vomits more of their hand. And you just played a card that doesn't do shit. You know, there's so many things to actually conceptualize and understand that my brain doesn't compute that shit anymore. I'm pretty sure this is like a tech card. Whatever he's trying to do here. It's just gonna get frozen. Like, this fucking garbage. Fuck, thank God. Oh my God. I can't play around. Secrets are the most stupidest thing ever, bro. Like, it's just a headache. You see a secret, it's, oh, okay. Now I have a headache. Oh, you put it on over your head? You collected my headache above your head right now. And it's also called a Christmas tree. Like, it's a fucking disgrace to Christmas to call it a Christmas tree. When you have 5 secrets. It's a fucking excruciating pain, should be called. Or tree of pain and suffering. Tree of homeless children crying. It's not Christmas, bro. Oh my God. Welcome to Africa, it should be called. It's a shed in the Africa. You just build a free house for everyone to live in. No big deal, guys. No big deal. I would suggest you attack, because, like, I get free kills and stuff. You do you, I guess. I can't judge you too much, can I? Yes, I can. We're doing this. And I actually, like, want to get Divine Shield going, so... doing some of this. Fuck my life, I guess. Now I have to do weird shit. What? Again, thank you, the Lord of Secrets. Very fun. I actually, like, have to attack the rat. I can't kill the dragon anymore. Because I can't lose this. If I lose this, it's game over. Well, that's always fun. No, just attack face. I mean, what else are you gonna do with your life? Technically, playing taunts, just every minion taunt. Probably the coolest thing you can do in this game. I swear, bro. Like, as many taunts as you can gather. What if we do this fucking meme? Tauntalicious. Obliteration. What the fuck is this hand? I am not impressed. This is not good. Past this point, we just clear the ward the most generic way.
Time goes short.
Our gift of frost shields us.
Flower power.
So we basically know what the secret is. It's the most obvious thing in the universe. I don't know why I shuffled Astalor in. I guess I'm an idiot. No? This looks pretty good. Lifesteal is nice.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Well, I just died randomly, I think.
You want my respect? Earn it.
Yes, I will. Yes, yes, sir.
Moverage fleet.
Yes, sir. I don't know why I played anything, because the actual play is just to go face first.
You simply lack perspective.
I am surprised. I'm genuinely surprised right now. I did not expect that. I don't know why I didn't heal. And that's why I don't give a fuck. I mean, he still can't kill me, right? And then we do Jailer. We just lifesteal Jailer. Fuck, he played Zephyrus. There's nothing he can do anymore. Stupid Hunter. Get jailed. Does Jailer just... No, because they're gonna King Crush you. But maybe there's a way to remove King Crush from their deck. That would be pretty crazy, right? That would work flawlessly. I'll just armor up a little bit.
That is not going to happen.
We're gonna get up to speed, basically. After a few days, we're gonna get up to speed. It shouldn't be that bad. As I imply with my pain and suffering, you know. Which I think is legitimate, but... I feel like I have to attack, but... that would damage the integrity of my taunts, and my taunts are my best friends forever. So the next episode, I'm gonna do a special thing. We're gonna just, check out the power of taunts. Maximize the amount of taunts I have in my deck. And just buff the hand and all that shit. Like, I want to see the power the taunts can deliver. Let's go. It's the stupidest thing ever, and I still think it's gonna work flawlessly. Like, taunts are insanely useful for healing. Shutting down aggro, all that garbage. Like, the 4-mana 7/7... that's a taunt. We're gonna make so many memes about it. Is the new 4-mana 7/7. The old one was draw 2 cards for your opponent. And that one sucks. I don't want that one. But I could play both of them. Also, if I can make myself laugh, you know that's a thing. I can't really Jailer because, like, we literally just die. We just die, though. Because of due process.
You're both number one to me.
Please don't kill me. I don't like that, but I'll take it. I'll take it as a yoke. Does that work? Does that not work? It works, but it resets the fucking hero power when you play this Malfurion.
I'm almost out of
Bye! Bye! See you later. That's kind of annoying, actually. But at least I'm not overwhelmed by the nonsense that's going on. I'm fairly happy. I almost destroyed my life. Oh my god. You know what I hate the most? There's not enough women to go around, and people actually like want to kick out Sniper Wolf out of the game. And like she's the most subscribed woman YouTuber. Like what are we talking about, right? We want to kill off the vibe of the most subscribed woman. At that point, you know toxic masculinity is a thing, and we're the greatest idiots of all time that ever existed. Like, women would never do immoral things. Like stealing, you know, naturally. This is so fucking insane. But we're not dead yet. So I guess that works. Or doesn't work for him. Or I'm just saying I'm not dead, but I'm actually very dead. Because I didn't play a controlled deck. What an idiot am I.
Arcane energy amplified.
Just nothing to do anymore. Just very much lose. 100% of the time.
You win. I can rest now.
So that was not fun at all. And you just, again, give your opponent more options because their decks are going to be stronger than mine somehow. And we're chicken rank, so we didn't win a single game. That's wild experience. Isn't that wild? Oh my god, I'm so excited to play more taunts or whatever. Bye.